What's going on, everybody? Kalipis Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you 10 more tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE. Now before we go any further, as always, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out my full review and other tips and tricks videos for this phone as well. But with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is how you can customize your Wi-Fi hotspot. Now, in case you don't know what it is, the mobile hotspot is basically a way to turn your mobile data into a Wi-Fi network. So if you're ever on the go and you have no Wi-Fi around you, you can use it to connect your laptop, tablet, anything you have to the internet using your mobile data. So I'm going to show you how you can customize the name, password, and all that. So first thing we're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Connections. Go to Mobile Hotspot and Tethering. In mobile hotspot right here, as you can see, mine is turned off because I don't currently have a SIM card in this phone, but regardless, we can still customize it. So we're going to go to mobile hotspot, and this is basically going to be the information for your hotspot. You're going to want to hit configure. In here, you can customize the name, the type of security you have, the password, and the band. You can use either 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz. Now this phone is definitely on the nicer, higher end side, and as such, you're probably going to want to protect it a little. And one way to do this is by using a screen protector, which can be great. They offer real good protection, especially if you use one of those nicer glass ones. But one problem you might encounter is that with a screen protector, your screen might not be as sensitive anymore. Well, with the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE, we actually have a way to deal with that. So what you're going to want to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Display. And in the display menu, you're going to find a feature called touch sensitivity. Toggle this on. And with this feature on, it's going to make your screen a little bit more sensitive. And that way you can use a screen protector without it making the phone harder to use. Now I'm going to show you some ways you can customize your always on display. In case you don't know what it is, this is the always on display. So we can actually customize some things here. So to do this, you're going to go to Settings. From here, go to lock screen. And as you can see, always on display is on right now. You can also turn it off. So if you do turn it off, then when you lock your screen, there's not going to be an always on display anymore. But we can also change its appearance. So if we tap here, by default, it's going to show for 10 seconds. You can also have it show all the time. So now it's just going to stay on indefinitely. You can also show as scheduled. I'm not actually sure what this does. I guess it's time sensitive, if you really want to do it like that. And you can also have it only show when you get notifications. Now, I personally like to leave it at the default, but feel free to choose whatever works best for you. Now, you can also customize the clock style. So if we go here, you can choose between several different types of clocks and customize the color as well. You can also show music information, screen orientation, auto brightness, pretty straightforward. So it's a pretty simple menu, but there are definitely some cool things you can do with the always on display. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called One-Handed Mode. Now you might have noticed, while having a display like this that's on the larger side is a nice thing overall, if you have to use the phone with only one hand, it can get a little inconvenient. So One-Handed Mode is the perfect solution to this. Now to access One-Handed Mode, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Advanced Features. And as you can see here, one-handed mode is not on by default. Toggle this on. And there are also several options here we can customize. So if you tap here one more time, as you can see, by default, it is activated by a gesture, and that's basically by going like this. So as you can see, now we're in one-handed mode. You can use this little arrow to change the side. And you can also resize it as well. So as you can see, one-handed mode really just shrinks your display to a more manageable size. So if you're using the phone with one hand, it's going to be a lot easier. It's kind of cool, and definitely in certain situations, it can be really useful. Now when you're done with one-handed mode, all you need to do is tap on the outside right here, and it's going to go right back to normal. You can also change the way you access it. So again, by default, it's going to be activated with a gesture, which is basically swiping down like this on your home button. But you can also change it to double tapping your home button instead. It's going to do basically the same thing. I personally have no preference, but definitely play around with it and see if you like one better than the other. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to customize your quick menu. Now in some of my previous tips and tricks videos, you may have seen me using this menu right here a lot. And in case you missed that, the way you access it is swiping down twice, once for the notification center and twice for the quick menu. And there are lots of useful features here. For example, you can turn on your mobile hotspot right from here, power saving mode, airplane mode, the flashlight. This is where you're gonna go to create screen recordings and all kinds of other stuff. But you can also customize this so you can get rid of the features you don't use and add the ones you do. To do this, you're gonna go to the plus right here. And as you can see, the bottom is going to show you the features that you do have in your quick menu. And the top here is going to show you the features you can add. If you want to remove something, simply drag and drop. And if you want to add something, do the same thing. Now, if you ever mess up and want to go back to the default, the reset button is right here. And of course, when you're done and want to finalize your changes, be sure to hit done, otherwise nothing is going to change. The next thing I'm going to show you is a few options you can change for screenshots and screen recordings. To access this, we're going to go to Settings. From here, go to Advanced Features. In this menu, find Screenshots and Screen Recorder. So there are a few things here. First one is Screenshot Toolbar. So whenever you take a screenshot, this is going to show up. But if you don't want it to show up, you can simply toggle this off, and now whenever you take a screenshot, it's not going to show up anymore. You can also hide the status and navigation bars, which is definitely useful if you want to get a real clean looking screenshot without having to edit it. Delete shared screenshots, definitely a useful feature. Screenshot format, now this is really situational because usually a JPG is probably going to be fine, but you can also change it to a PNG if you want. Now for screen recorder, we got some options here as well. First one is sound. Now this is pretty important. If you want to record media sound, it will do this by default. You can also have it record nothing, or you can record media sound and mic. So if you want to narrate something, you can do that as well. You can also change the video quality, which does max out at 1080p, but you can also use 720p or 480p if you really want to save some space. Now the selfie video size, in case you missed it in my previous tips and tricks video, there is an option when you're creating a screen recording to use the front facing camera to record yourself as well. And this basically controls the size of that image. And then finally, we got show taps and touches. So when you have this on, it's going to show feedback whenever you touch the screen. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to turn on your autofill. This can definitely be useful if you're doing a lot of web browsing, especially online shopping where you have to log into stuff a lot. So to get to the autofill feature, you're going to go to Settings. From here, go to Google. In this menu, you're going to find autofill right here. Now what you're going to want to do is hit autofill with Google. And you can fill in all your personal information, addresses, payment methods, and passwords. Now I'm going to show you some more ways you can customize your phone's appearance. So this is a real cool one, and a lot of people seem to overlook it. So if you press and hold your finger on the home screen like this, you're going to go to this menu. If you've seen my other tips and tricks videos for this phone, you've probably seen this already. But this time from here, we're going to go to Themes. Now this is actually really cool in the sense that it can change not only your background, but all your icons as well. And as you can see here, these do cost money, but there are plenty of themes on the Galaxy store that don't. Like for example, all these themes here, you can go to top free themes, and there are tons to choose from. So if you want a more unique, personalized look for your phone, this is definitely a great option. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called Dual Messenger. Now this is an interesting feature. Essentially what it does is allows you to use two different accounts on one app without having to constantly log in and out of a bunch of different things. Unfortunately, only a few apps are eligible, and a few of those apps already have this kind of feature built into the app, so it's not nearly as useful now as it was back in the day, but it's still a cool thing to know about. So to access this feature, we're going to go to Settings. From here, go to Advanced Features. And all the way at the bottom, there's going to be an option called Dual Messenger. So as you can see, these are the two apps that I have that are eligible. Now Facebook already has something like this built into it, so it's not really that useful, but I do know Snapchat doesn't. So for example, if you have two different Snapchat accounts, and there are also some other apps that I personally don't have that you can use with Dual Messenger. So if you ever have an app where you have multiple accounts for one thing, and you don't want to be constantly logging in and out to switch accounts, then definitely check to see if you can use it with Dual Messenger. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to use the Edge panel. Now if you're new to this phone or Android in general, you may or may not have even noticed this, but the Edge panel essentially is this little tab right here that you can pull open, and it gives you quick access to certain apps. Now these are the defaults, pretty basic stuff, and here is like a split screen kind of thing where you can use YouTube and the internet at the same time, kind of cool. But you can also customize the edge panel so you can make sure that whatever apps are up here are the most useful to you. So to do this, go to these three lines right here, go to edit, and here you can choose from pretty much any app you want to add. Now, if you don't want to use the edge panel, if you ever want to get rid of it, it's really easy to do. All you need to do is go to settings, go to display, and edge panel is going to be down here, right here, toggle this off, and now the edge panel is going to be gone. And of course, if you ever want to turn it back on, all you need to do is hit this button one more time. But those were 10 more tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And as always, I will see you in the next video.